If the eons that comprise the lifetime of Earth were compressed into the span of a single year, the origin of life would have occurred at the end of January. The colonization of the land in November, the flourishing of the dinosaurs on December 15th, the evolution of mammals on Christmas Day, the development of the first primates near dawn on December 31st, the origin of man at 8 p.m. on New Year's Eve, recorded history would occupy the last 15 seconds of that last day of such a year. Human beings are subjected to the same evolutionary and environmental pressures that cause the extinction or variation of all previous forms of life. We pass in this way but once. Just as in time, we occupy but an instant in an expanse of ages, so in space we inhabit a single mote of dust in an awesome and immense universe. We are curious and a little lonely. Is it really possible in our Milky Way galaxy of 250 billion stars, in a universe of perhaps 100 billion galaxies, that our sun is the only star with an inhabited planet? Not likely. It defies sheer mathematical computation. In the most ordinary environments in the universe, the building blocks of life are formed. Planets seem to be commonplace and unexceptional companions of stars. The selective advantage of intelligence and technology is great. Is it not likely that innumerable technical civilizations have arisen, evolved, decayed? Until recently, such musings were idle. But in the last quarter second of the cosmic clock, we have reached a turning point in the evolution of life. For the first time, beings from Earth are able to search for life elsewhere. Sophisticated unmanned scientific laboratories costing a small fraction compared to defense budgets can be landed on other planets. An even grander, more exciting search is now within our grasp. Radio telescopes on our planet are capable of distant interstellar communication. Cornell University's Great Telescope in Arecibo, Puerto Rico, will shortly, or has been, capable of communicating with an identical radio telescope on another planet anywhere in the Milky Way galaxy. Such a search is not easy, even under the most optimistic assumptions on the likelihood of such communicating civilizations. We would have to examine many hundreds of thousands of stars before we achieved a reasonable probability of detecting intelligent life. We have so far examined with negative results only about 300 to 3,000 stars for possible signals directed our way. Possibly many more. My calculations could be inaccurate. But hard searches. In this sense, I'm going to deviate. You would have to understand a glass of water. In our current state, we have examined a drop in that glass of water, maybe even a fraction of a drop of the glass of water. That is the expanse of our Milky Way, as far as the SETI research. So it's still quite a ways to go. We have so far examined with negative results many other things as well, such as the extraterrestrial search for intelligence on Mars and so on, in the many decades that have passed and to come. If we succeed, ourselves are plugged into a kind of galactic telephone network, a brilliant intellectual commerce, or a magical, dazzling diversity of civilizations with other worlds. All culture will have deprovincialized, and for 4 billion, or maybe so, our 4 billion-year-old isolation would be ended. However, deviating from this, it could be a magical experience to contact something, or it could be quite satanic or evil or destructive. because it would be cowboys and Indians. We would be the Indians and they would be the cowboys. And they would probably come and annihilate us if they were anything like us. At least we would do that to it, as a humanity is an evil creature. If we fail, if we find that in an otherwise lifeless universe a microbe is a miracle, we will know something of the fragile and unique position not only of man, but of intelligent life in the universe. I don't know what I fear most. The fact that life may be out there, and I don't even know if I fear it, but it's more so the fact that we are alone in the universe. If that were the case, that would be quite shattering and quite ridiculous. But to be alone in such a great expanse would be completely bizarre. Whatever the outcome, such a search will have the most profound implications for our view of ourselves and the universe in which we live. It is a technological ingenuity of mankind that permits the search, but it is the philosophical and spiritual needs of mankind that motivate it. Some scientists have suggested that there are perhaps 1 million advanced civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. Why then is the presence of extraterrestrial intelligence not entirely obvious? Any society substantially in our technological future, say millions of years ahead of us, will have prodigious capabilities, that they will be as far beyond our powers as we are beyond our Stone Age ancestors. Perhaps such advanced civilizations are able to move stars about and restructure whole galaxies. In the case of their presence, some say, would be apparent by looking up at the sky on a clear night. There are many unexplained astronomical phenomena, despite what many say or believe or have been spoon-fed by propaganda. Might any of them be manifestations of extraterrestrial intelligence? I think so. Such civilizations should surely be capable of interstellar space flight. There are no fundamental physical objections to starflight, and some schemes already have been proposed, even for our puny technology, for travel among the stars at speeds ranging from 1/10 the velocity of light to speeds close to the velocity of light. The galaxy is roughly 100,000 light years across. At 1/10 the velocity of light, it would take 1 million years to cross the galaxy. If an advanced society began at one locale in the galaxy and gradually spread, establishing colonies that they themselves launched exploratory missions, as occurred on Earth with the Phoenician and Greek city-states, for example, the whole of the galaxy might be explored and colonized in times considerably shorter than its 10 billion year history. And that would be interesting. But in a pulsating universe, I think it's ever expanding, so I think it's a lot wider as well. So it constantly is spreading out. I don't think we'll be able to get a hold of it all. That song, Creeping Death, like 3 times in a row, I mean, it was just loud. I mean, I just, one person comes over, another one comes over. It's just been a constant wake-up time. I don't think I've gotten much sleep. But neighbor was getting pissed off, and I said, "Merry Christmas." It was funny, man. And then, like, at 4 a.m., she's, like, raging with some Iron Maiden stuff. So it was a really good time last night. Today is the day after Christmas, and I came down on the train, and people in their mad shopping sprees, heading over to, I think it's Macy's now, but I used to go to it when it was something else. And just grabbing more stuff to buy. I mean, it's all right. I mean, you can get your Dolce & Gabbana or whatever you need to get. Today I am going to continue my reading of Black Magic is Might, which was published in 2012. I hope you enjoy it. The feedback on the previous shows of the reading was good. I've been getting a lot of emails, and you are free to email me at wolfloki@yahoo.com. That's WOLFLOKI@yahoo.com. And that will go on forever. Forever and ever. Although I don't know, I've got a lot going on about different things, but you can still email me And this is the Pentacle-Hours show from 5 to 7, Monday through Friday, or thereabouts. Central Standard Time. Some people were like, "I'm not listening to you." No, if you're in California, Los Angeles, you're gonna be 3 hours late, so you'll probably have to listen to the replay on the network. I think it replays at 4 a.m. or something, or just listen to one of my uploads. I generally upload the show every night on YouTube, so you can find it there. Let us read. Let us begin. 14 steps to Satanic awakening. Number 1. Admit you are one with Satan, that all things imaginable and unimaginable emanate from Lucifer. Number 2. Come to believe through gnosis that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to Satan. Number 3. Made to understand our will to Lucifer ever rising. Number 4. Made an astral search of the Akashic record of ourselves in order to gain clarity and vision. Number 5. Admit that Satan is as I am, and that as I am Satan. That is quite a tongue twister. Admit that Satan is as I am Satan. So that is profound. That is addressing that we are inherently evil. Number 6. To ever perfect our union, our character, our ego, in unrestrained vitality enjoyed through Luciferian unification. Number 7. Leave the life you once knew, not as a being of defects or shortcomings, but as a Satanic super-Aryan. Number 8. Burn bridges from sheeple slaves that seek to indoctrinate and hinder progress. Number 9. Cast down the threshold of amendments and thou shalt nots. Raise up strength and discipline through black arts. Number 10. Made a list of enemies that must be eradicated, for only through the redemption of vengeance is one's mind clear. Number 11. Made direct action to preserve the sanctity of Luciferianism through black magic means. Number 12. Continue to bring as many as possible to the fold of Satan through direct action or indirection. Number 13. Sought through incantation and meditation to elevate Satanic consciousness and conscious contact with Lucifer, to intone what the Satanic rites of the arcane may achieve. Number 14. Having had Satanic awakening as a result of these steps, we carry our black magic message to the masses whenever possible, to imprint these Satanic principles in all worldly affairs, deeds, and doings. And that is imperative. Those mantras, it's an Illuminati mandate, sure. I mean, it's about becoming a super-Aryan. It's raising into a super consciousness. A lot of people are in the doldrums, they're worrying about getting their next job or their rat race, and they're caught up in humanity. Black magic is might, seeks to overcome humanity, to elevate one to the highest and best they can be. It's not racism. It's a battle of the fittest. Racism doesn't hold a place in black magic or Satanism or any of that. Racism is a waste of time. Adolf Hitler's extermination of the Jews was a waste of time. That's a self-loathing, caught-up humanity issue, a sadomasochism or something. That is not what I am espousing through the work Black Magic is Might. If you read it, since it has outsold everything I've ever written, you'll understand the premise. But you have to read it in totality. You can't read excerpts to understand it. Now let us move forward. We're going to read some very entertaining satanic quotations. Now I put satanic quotations in all my books because I can simply write quotations. I'm a master writer at that. Does that make me brilliant, a genius, or whatever? I don't care. I'm very concise about my wording in these quotations, and in most of them they have this dark comedy aspect. Just like even after my friend was cutting up on her guitar and stuff, right before she arrived, I wrote an entire diatribe for my Star-Crossed Vampires thing. It takes commitment to create. It takes a concise mind. And that is what quotations, and that's what I like about quotations, is when you can just get to the point. So I'm going to read quite a few of them for you today. And we are live. And you might find them entertaining, and if you find them annoying, if it gets to be overwrought, then you can just email me and let me know. I'm not taking any calls today, although the phone is blowing up. I see that I've already gotten 28 calls. That's quite a lot, but I can't answer the phone. Just because you fill out a Wikipedia page about yourself does not give you legitimacy. Do not put your faith in a wealth coach. We are fleas in the froth. Those who shout the loudest shout down reason. Satanism, dedicated to a more just, awakened, feral, and satanic world. Billboard, Satanism, a force for evil on planet Earth. Don't add just anyone into your circle, only those that bring introspection. The world of Satan is thine. America is not doing what's best for you. America is doing what's best for America. Coexist or else. The nature of the beast we are. Silence the ceaseless chatter in your mind in order to see clearly. To thyself always be true. Don't build your life on the sand of personality. At the first shock, it will crumble, destroying you in the fall. Beauty marks the bullet. Happy witch year. Many stumble where they seek to climb. Many exaggerate their own importance. A year of neglect, action, and shouts of charge. Satanism is a world without limits. A good student is one who questions their education. If you're going to kill, kill with a clear conscience. Genocide is happening and continues to happen. The concept of never again is a joke. Sorry you were born a wrong time in a wrong place. Slay with those that slay, kill with those that kill. Life is just like a tarot reading, unpredictable. Never be second best. Tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your consumer slave life. Nuts don't fall too far from the nut tree. Avoid inborn habits of wrong function. The struggle for self-importance is the genuine evolution of Satanism. Many so-called teachers, prophets, mages, ape others' words of logic and paraphrases. Staying tied leads to further entanglements. Cutting cords leads to new attainments. Worry accelerates satanic insinuation. Evil smiles low and deep. Never send sheep to kill a wolf. I woke up today looking into the eyes of a bright, shining gray alien. Stand up and be slaughtered. Be not a fashion hole to be screwed. Devils all, devils rise. Good things come to those who take. There will be an end to war when humanity finds a common enemy. Homeless in the land of homes. Many don't have the luxury of last-minute indecision. No manslaughter without laughter. Many paths lead in different directions that end up in the same eventuality. Politicians load crowds with friendlies and Confederates bearing staged questions. Demagogues create crisis and upheaval in order to appear in the supposed 11th hour. Create the virus, supply the cure. I am the creature of many habits. The power of the negative ads compressed to a televised magnet. Evil be with you, and also with me. The night is come, thy will be done. Be ever reaper mystical. If nukes are outlawed, only outlaws will have nukes. The life of a writer is a tortured existence. In the future, we will be body-modified machines. Beware of the subliminal darts that fly by day, just when you thought it was safe to drink the water. Choose your own global nightmare. If I'm not scheming and plotting, I'm not happy. What is your slave footprint? Because we run in collective circles, a collective center formulates a beginning and an end of life's paradigm, a mutual extermination club. Islam is the pestilence of the world. Stay passive, stay asleep, live life like a sheep. Are you a member of the Chernobyl Social Club? Obstructionist super committee fails, Senate is sitting on their hands, United States of collapse. A paradox will lead you out of your cage. The United States will go into Chinese receivership. Democracy is like an addict always searching for money. The law of the contrarian is to wield a bully pulpit or framed debates. Shout down real discussion with false accusation. Do you throw fabricated bombshells into arguments? In today's business arena, the apologist loses and the character assassin wins. He who worships at the altar of the contrarian is a subversive. He who seeks to poison is called a replacement. Fighters of injustice are just lackeys of distraction and ruse. Wake up, humanoid. In response to the I Am a Mormon advertisement campaign, I am Winter Lake. I am a black psi-operative of the Illuminati. I do not have to work another day for the rest of my life, and I am a Satanist. Don't be a victim of the totem worship. Don't let idiots rummage through your life. Don't be a slave laborer for a mere survival. Live happily, ever evil. Heightened states of benzine fantasy tropes. Gain a high-educated pedigree. Spend the rest of your time psychically infiltrating others' minds. Death is all you need. The disgruntled will rise regruntled. She gamed my name. I'd rather be a killer than a victim. Everyone is driven by self-interest. Even giving to others gets people off. Not negative, just contemplative. We love hate, we hate love. Avoid churchianity. Stay tuned to the telepathic radio. The nationalistic deception is a cheerleading event which signifies nothing but banter and tales told by pretenders and political tricksters. Christmas is a time to cut others, not yourself. Nationalism is brainwashing totem of the useless banter which never solves any real issues or problems, just irrelevant talk that accomplishes nothing. Paint issues in black and white and exclude any argument of color. Let them burn books, let them enslave their minds, relegate the thinkers and engineers of progress to the doldrums of labeled enemies. Let the herd destroy themselves. A true pacifist. Every hour, every infliction of pain, every narrative, every darkness, every evil that has been perpetrated by humanity has taken place on planet Earth. Movie stars are slaves to fame and live with the fear that their Hollywood masters will couch them any minute. Nosferatu Incorporated, our motto: there are no governments, only limited liability corporations and unlimited resources which secure the aims of the individual board members, utilizing humanity as their greatest capital. Our mission is to control history through various forms of disinformation, ever marching in lockstep to achieve higher and higher revenue. Satanism shall cut the Gordian knot of theology has tied. I gave up losing a long time ago. Best witches. We are the twilight and in the twilight of cash. Have a harpy night. No time for Johnny Grump or Janie Complain. The leaders of this country fear real democracy breaking out. Black magic harnesses the tools, never asking why destroy. Love makes death grow stronger. If you love your neighbor as yourself, you will be sold out like a traitor. Government should be a spender of the last resort. American unrestrained capitalism is propped up by Chinese enslaving communism. He who owns the debt owns the country. Escape the percentile, embrace individuality. Filter your way to reason. Build a church, raise an army, unite a world, conquer a universe, or be laid-back artist with a hipster slag haircut who collects old war relics. Is your digital self more important than your real self? Watch, stand back, and clap as you're Google codified and profiled. You are a jewel of great prize, which I will never sell, a double-edged sword. Don't step through the night without stopping to drink. The clash of two destructive forces always creates something new. It is better to be feared than loved. Fear you can control, love never. Our modern economic models are creating global wage slavery. Honesty for those who can afford it. Beware of 3 words, catchphrases like, I am the decider, war on terror, or yes we can. I say I don't care. My town logo is the face of a rapper from a black cat firecracker. Sorrow dies with the heart it feeds upon. There are flashes of brilliance through insanity. Welcome to diversity. Kill indiscriminately. Sex kittendom is not for the weak. Justice, just us. Cheer up, the end is near. The Queen's Jubilee celebration ended with a bang bang. Many view sex as just another activity. Life is short, smile while you still have teeth. A search for the meaning of life really doesn't matter. Militant action always replaces the great amount of open-mindedness. Don't pay attention to banshees that bay as you pass by. One can live forever within the memory of machines. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. When the end comes, it will be random and unexpected. Enter all action with bold certainty. Jesus was just another apocalyptic prophet who lived and died like everyone else. The cavalier dies first. Outrage paves the road of fame. Fame and infame is all the same. Mankind is born of conflict. I offer you escape, you insist on a cage. When everything is readily available, nothing else matters. I wish that I had Jessica's girl. Imagination is the deified essence of creation. Desolation after desolation reaps me, but never abides my final execution. If you can't buy happiness, steal it. Man can bleed to death from the truth he recognizes. Awaken wicked. Applied drawing mechanics, understanding of colors recreation, and the shading of archetypes. These are the keys to pre-Raphaelite painting, a structure which I endeavor to undertake. Many long for a vanished world that never existed. Devils dream, devils remain. Little did the consequence mean to me. Consequences are like a young mistress to an old man. The crazier they are, the more I adore them. Don't be a shell of desecration, leaving remnants of a scorched and regretful life. I am a stranger in the midst of cast-outs. I've never walked in lockstep with the fold, ever. Stay isolated from the crush of society. I write memoirs to give an account of myself to myself. Profit till the last hour has struck. Don't bring a gun to a skittle fight. I've tried in the mausoleum my whole life where I have lived. Soon there will be determination of the world and dehumanization, a world of all against all. It is disturbing when your ex dates a troll. Occupy Congress, not Wall Street. Not a promise, an assurance. I cannot tell you the future today. I left my crystal ball in the dishwasher, asleep and praying. All that we are saying is give hate a chance. A show-off's last words. Hey, watch this. Insinuate something long enough, one becomes the imitation. I wrote philosophies that mirrored the lies of mankind. My life is a long, slow suicide. Slave labor is alive and well. Take credence from the pages of this strong man's handbook. Art is liberation from the ad hoc tech personage. Life is temporary. Each visitor gives a performance. Corporate interest is for the corporate interest, not the public good. Lead a life free from limitations of others. Compelled to the light, I chose darkness, a vital saturnine experience. Religion often replaces the crutch of drink. Alcohol is my higher power. Always have a sense of urgency. When one wields an axe, everything looks like a tree. Frack the world apart. Passion that roars like a torrent. Many ask, how do you do this, or how do you do that? I say stay focused and never stop. Stay where you are and punch a clock. When a woman strikes at another woman, the blow is deadly. Revolution is easy, to rule is hard. Poverty is a luxury I cannot afford. Poetry sustains the heightened existence of the soul. All are equal in death. Be not a tower that fire assails. Mystery unfolds her wings to cavort in debauchery. How can one be a great and bright spiritual guru but broke? Dear stalker, I don't love you. I don't complete you. I don't know you. Go away. Always expect the unexpected. I don't have to believe my own rhetoric, but I do need to pose the question. Hate fuels me. We are the UFO. Work well and maintain. Quit and be free. Crushes are fun. The key is not to be crushed by them. Attention television watching sheep. Do whatever you're told. Be content. Be passive. Consume more. Eat, sleep, and become cannon fodder. Answer the phone and receive the order. Be a good citizen slave. Nature will take its course. If you took out all of the functioning alcoholics in our culture, you'd be eliminating a lot of business firepower from the economy. To have tea or not have tea, that is the question. There is a fine line between a gothic playmate and a worn-out hag. Sorry about that one. That's just brutal. Some are welcome in the morning, but never at night, while others are welcome at night, but never in the morning. Think outside of the coffin of society. Spring death is a sacrifice to summer. I'll stop the world and stalk you. I don't think I will, but I like that, what that says. I don't have time to stalk, although I have several stalkers. And I'll read a little more. Many have the will to be creative, but lack the volition to carry it out. The war of the now is not fought with guns or knives, but with currency. The purpose of black magic is might, is to raise up the satanic strong and cast down the false heretics of the fake. Modern business model, murder and acquisitions. When scientists want to achieve their aims, they bury moral arguments and people. Never allow someone to be your priority while you're just their option. Catch a falling leaf from a tree on Halloween, luck will be with thee. Do you speak the language of 12 gauge? Pry open the door that leads to the universe. History can change on a knife's edge of an individual who chooses to take action and ignite a spark. The heresy of random chance chronicles the past in reverse. A life in a neighborhood of a sleeping dead or undead depends on your perspective. Self-induced anguish seduces great art. Build a pleasure model. Pray it doesn't malfunction. Sheep who are powerless to change their lives, come get your collar. Open the fucking door so we can fuck. I love that one. It's a little brutal, but I do like it. End the world diatribes to bring the doomed one cheer. Come, heretics and liars, I will scourge you in the fires. Real men try not to hurl. I guess. I don't even know what inspires me to write some of this. I'm going to read one more page. Our existence proves an architect, not a creator. Demolish the lies of Scientology. What cannot be prevented must be endured. Low-profile climbs often lead to high-profile falls. Don't fall into the I'm the more righteous trap. Just walk away. America is a monolith to the consumer slave. One day we will be more humanoid than human. Wine, women, weird, wired. We all choose a burden of choice. The earth is my church. Come to know the inner peace of evil. Church of Our Lady of Guilt. You're the devil of my soul. Someone has vanished. Let's release a balloon of condolence instead of looking for them. Maybe they'll see it. I see life through a dark comedic lens. Life defies entropy. Are you a kid savant, data mined and crowdsourced? Grandoy's plans are often led astray by crackpot schemes of degenerates. So that gives you a scope of some of the quotations, satanic quotations in Black Magic is Might. And it's enjoyable, and I'm really good at it, and I know I am. And people that have read Black Magic is Might as well as all my books, that's what it contains. A couple people that I've known in my history, they're like, don't include those. And, quotations are tired, but I think they're concise and interesting. I don't really share many of them, and that's why I'm reading for them here for you today. I mean, they're clearly in the books, but to be honest, no one is reading anymore in our dumbed-down society. They're all being spoon-fed their media and their sensory stimulus in other ways and their forms. And soon it will be one worldwide mind, consciousness streaming through our own systems, nanocellular injected and singular with our Satanism, which I've called a satanic singularity. Although others, like Kurzweil, are more altruistic about it, although he wants to resurrect his own father from the dead, I think through the DNA. I think he will be able to. He's brilliant. He's a Satanist. He doesn't realize it, but that's fine. And Satanism is a philosophy. It's a different kind of take on how you view things. A friend of mine is like, well, what is Satan? Isn't it just an opposite of Christianity? It's a term. It's a philosophy. It could be humanism. It could be might is right philosophy, law of might, but it predates the very essence of our existence. It's evil. It's Belial. It's Lucifer. It's Ahriman. It's everything that predated our existence. It has nothing to do with Christianity. Christianity came much later. Islam followed suit with that. These were conditioning tools that were set up by different people, gurus that sought to bind and control society through their own methods for their own gain. That in itself is Satanism. That in itself, what they had accomplished is a form of control. And going back, it became a thing of churchianity. So when I speak of Satanism, it is a very depth-intensive philosophy that spans not only this earth, but throughout the galaxy. A lot of people are caught up in this one-dimensional, one-wall place in their little rooms, and that's all they're thinking about. They have this view of a devil and a power. There are devils and demons and powers and spirits and all this stuff. And that's where I even deviate with a lot of atheists, because atheists are self-worshippers, and that's fine. There's even death worshippers, and that's fine too. There's many different aspects of Satanism. Mine would be even called theistic Satanism, meaning that I believe that there is a force out in the universe that permeates the galaxy and ourselves, as we are one with it, as it is one with us. So it's something that is innate, inherent, that is in our whole makeup as a creature, as a beast of the field. It's very dark, it's very destructive, and it will come out when our fossil fuels run out, and it will unleash itself through our technology, which will soon be streaming in our own blood, which will give us life extension and coordinate ourselves and clean up our disease, because aging is a disease, and we'll be able to reverse that. And then this will give us capacity to go out into space and time, because you need, as my premise earlier, you would need a lot of time in order to exist. And we'll be able to download our memories and things into machines and live longer and not carry so many burdens and different things. It's kind of like Christmas when my phone blows up and I'm hearing from people from 20 years ago that I haven't spoken to, and they're all like dating these trolls or these loser rat boy people, and I just laugh at that stuff. I'm like, why can't you just raise the bar and move on.org? Because I'm not where you were, and I don't even know if we had that much in common what was going on, but I think the sex was good. I'm going to read a little more, and we're going to be deviating. I'm going to be skipping the quotations. Let's discuss the premise of satanic rites. To be a satanic or a Satanist is to be an iconoclast, a destroyer of old values, breakers of constrictive foundations, and the ripper of moral fibers. For this reason, it is very difficult to keep a functioning coven of black magic practitioners together, let alone going in the same direction. It is the very nature of the beast for most, if not all, black magic practitioners to seek their own solitary journey to power along the left-hand path. Most black magic practitioners, Satanists, are lone wolves and like to be by themselves. I write satanic rituals with the hope that a unified left-hand path can be attained. Hence, most of my rituals are written in the format for a coven setting. Although all of these satanic rites herein, as well as all of my previous diatribes, can be grafted for solo use. It should also be noted that satanic rites are not simply theater or something done to put on a show, or to be conducted in repetitious malaise. Properly performed, they could act as a powerful stimulus to achieve and activate imagination and spiritual aspiration of the Satanist, all purpose to raise a satanic consciousness within. Lucifer is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. I do not seek to dispel that Satanism is evil, equated with the letter D added to the word evil to make manifest the lettering devil. This is my mantra to you, dear black magic practitioner. The human mind is a cluttered and complex matrix that is not easily quieted, but it must be in order to evoke black magic force. This is the art of quantitative silence, to clear one's mind of nothing else and assert dominance over a chosen situation, world, or reality, or person. The pursuit of black magic is not for the impatient. The practice of black magic is a daily, nightly Adventist. Also, black magic is not for the foolhardy or for the lazy. Oftentimes, these types become pawns and victims to higher satanic masters. Black magic is a dark energy that can be tapped, controlled, manipulated by the human mind through the force of will. This dark energy is an inexhaustible resource that permeates the galaxy and ever continues to renew itself through dark matter. Theoretically, anyone can learn black magic. However, it is an extremely difficult process that proves to be impossible for many people, as the results vary widely and are rarely gained, and often backfire upon the neophyte participant, One must decide to channel all of his appreciated magical development towards a particular discipline and goal in order to harness it and bring about effective change. The black magic practitioner must be able to completely rid himself of distraction, emotion, and foreplay sensory pitfalls, maintaining an iron concentration of razor-sharp focus to manipulate reality, to bend it to his agenda. Let me tell you who I am, the oldest creature known to man. I am the dreams made manifest, the night-made succubusal flesh. I am the embodiment of all evil, known to many kinds and many vices, my true nature worn in subterfuge and myrrh. I am Lucifer. Black magic is a natural force that has existed since the dawn of time. The earlier forms known to man, it was widely practiced by pagan cultures. Eventually, these cultures were subsumed into science. Over the centuries, black magic has become a myth, an element of fantasy and conjecture. Through the ages, only a few occultists carried the torch of black magic and psychic recognition within the allegiance of human Aryan potential. Later, the black magic force was to be lorded over by secret societies and inner circles. Black magic is a constant and ever-flowing dark energy, mirrored in space and time as in us. It streams through a certain psychic consciousness, awakening only to a chosen few. The refusal to disbelieve leads to the downfall of many practitioners, even those touched, crushed by their denial of its existence. At this point, black magic knowledge is an inextricably amazing word, extricably unknown to mankind, that people question whether it even existed at all, consigning it to the doldrums of fairy tales. Obviously, without question, this refusal to believe is the single and most significant reason why modern man has lost the secrets of black magic. Hence, the first step in becoming a black magic practitioner is believing that black magic is real and that one has the occult prowess to perform, hone, and project it outwardly, to exact change and allow dark energy to use your vassal as a fulcrum to its certainty. The black magic practitioner must see black magic as an innate power, a force to be reckoned with, not feared. One must have total conviction. Any glimmer of doubt will destroy any chance of success. As I have stated, most don't believe in black magic. This is to the believer's advantage and puts the non-believers in serious peril, for black magic is beyond them. They have succumbed to superstition and rational disbelief. These too are as much obstacles to the mastery of black magic as over hubris and inflated ego without results. Many barriers exist to learning black magic. Only through certainty and belief will black magic mastery be attained. There is a fine line between psychic influencing and black magic. Both work the same intention and along the same ley lines, but on different frequencies. Both assert similar outcomes with designs on intuitive or emotional levels for the same outcomes. The nexus of psychic influencing and black magic intersect at the crossroads of synchronicity and satanic ceremony. Satanic projections for result, not failure. Satanic rites intensify the momentum of the desired working. This amplification should not be frowned upon. On the contrary, the components assembled and undertaken. So put down your solitary spell-casting ego and seek out a satanic circle of friends and believers. You will be amazed by your enhanced incantative enterprise. Now let us conduct an ancient and satanic rite. Amazing. Definitely an Illuminati mandate. It's always good to read day after Christmas. This kind of work. It inspires myself when I reflect upon it. wrote Black Magic is Might. 2012. 2013 was just a ride. It was a roller coaster ride. I was pushing and pushing and come to a lot of fruition, a lot of things. 2014 is slated to do the same. And as I reflect back upon this work and looking at why it outsold everything, I think it makes sense. I think people are looking for a doctrine of faith and power that will release them from this economic downturn. A lot of people I know are broke, struggling to get groceries, or they're one step away from losing their house, or some kind of nonsense with couch surfing or something, and I feel for them. I'm not brutal. It's just that I think that in seeking out black magic, if one so chooses to, although black magic sort of finds you, you don't necessarily find it. It does get aged out. There's a point where it may be, too late for some people to pick up the doctrine, but it can be entertaining, and you can definitely be inspired by it. Ghosts are afoot today. I was going to play a little Black Celebration for you. It's one of my favorite songs by Depeche Mode, and yes, I listen to everything. It's not always death metal, guys and girls, although it was a lot of metal last night. And Depeche Mode. I was cranking this up on my stereo system at my apartment. I like my apartment. I do stay in hotels and have houses in different places, but I'm enjoying my bohemian lifestyle. I've set up like these drapes and made my place kind of cool, and it's like a freer kind of existence. And I enjoy it, and I can afford to do it. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about intention and demand and reason. If you are tired of being broke, don't go spend money on money spells necessarily to achieve money. Although, there are spells that can call money to you. One of my quotations that made me reflect while I'm going through the list, and I was simultaneously making notes, was this thing about don't put your faith in a wealth coach. Because a lot of these wealth coaches are, they're making money from you. You're the one they're making money from. So it's like they're selling the concept that they're making, you rich, when really they're just using you as a tool for them to make a lot of money. But there are spells, and there are numerological things that can garner one a lot of money. And money is the key to financial security. I mean, it keeps us going for sure. Because if you run out of money in democracy, you're as good as dead. And it's just prevalent. I mean, but there's, these other things. I have a friend that's like listening to some of the free stuff online. I think that's okay. Now, if you're calling money to yourself and you're, using the free stuff that's on YouTube, combined with action, though, is imperative. So if you're seeking out money, a lot of it or whatever, you have to go out and actually interact with people. It's kind of like, if you get a phone number of a girl, call her up, don't be scared. Or you're never going to have a girlfriend, or you're never going to meet anybody. You're just going to be, you're just going to be getting numbers and collect them or something. It's not going to do you any good. So if you combine action with wealth activities and wealth mentality and escaping poverty consciousness, I think that you would achieve some financial security that would help you overcome a lot of these limits that society holds. Because money is the key to escaping. It is the key to living a better life. I mean, in this society. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but it just is. And, That's how it's set up. We have this paper money. It probably will be worthless in time. But, you know, it's important to have it, to pay your bills, to, you know, live a certain way. You know, and it goes back to getting all these different messages from ex-girlfriends on Christmas, because they always bitch to me about, oh, Billy is broke, or Billy is this, or Billy's a drunk or something. And I'm like, get rid of it, change it, I mean, and my issue is, and every year I'm like, why do I still even deal with you? There are reasons why things begin and end, and I'm kind of been adopting Cleo's philosophy on this, because she has this innate ability to just drop people. And I mean, I'm so glad that she's still my friend, because she really does, and I've seen it, I've witnessed it. She'll be with someone and then just drop them, but not even think about it. Her empathy just doesn't exist. And she'll admit this herself. And that may be some kind of flaw or something, but I find it to be brilliant. If you have that power where you don't have to drag anything around anymore, it's definitely something to explore. They're probably going to invent a pill in the future. I guess it's kind of like that film or whatever. There was a film, an amazing film, The Spotless Mind, where they were able to just erase all of these decades of different people.
The race is wrong, the book is red, the
I'm Winter Lake. You're listening to the Pentacle-Hours, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time in Chicago. I hope you're enjoying it. Feedback's been good. I'm getting into it. I like it. I enjoy it. Gives me some kind of regiment to my day. I am an advantageous writer. There's a lot of activities here around the studio and a lot of other new avenues and different people and things going on. The emails I received give me positive results. That's good. You can always give me negative ones too. I do receive the negative ones, and I look at everything and try to build it as we go along. Some people want me to continue reading Black Magic is Might and get into the poetry section of the book. That might happen. Ooh, man. That is some intensity. The poetry in the book, Black Magic is Might, is really dark, or always is, but most of my stuff is dark, but it's very captivating. And all of the diatribes I've written, I put poetry in it. Now, true, supposedly, black magic Satanist people or whatever that wear corpse paint come down on me for that. They're like, oh, poetry has no place in it or whatever. But I think poetry is, back to the satanic quotations, is the concise word that gets to the point. Again, it's magical. You need to get beyond these concepts. You need to get beyond the fact that, you don't have to wear black every day, or, that you have to wear corpse paint. You get into the consciousness, the reality. And poetry is very concise. It leads into music. All music is based on poetry, lyrical and aspects. So, it's all the same. Yes, poetry is dead. Absolutely. You cannot sell a poetry book. I sell my poetry books, sell. But neither here nor there. Generally, they don't sell. And, people aren't sitting around reading it. They read my stuff. That's great. I've got that avenue where people actually read my stuff and like it. It's artistic in its sense. But, again, it's not an ego thing with me. I'm just giving you some references to, why I contain, for me personally, black magic, in my black magic diatribes, poetry. And it has different meanings. And, there are meanings that are more surreal. In my writing, I'm looking for wordplay and different things that kind of sound good together or are contrarian to each other. So it's quite fun. And some of them are about different people, but they're not about every little ex-girlfriend I ever had, despite what one of my exes thinks, which is annoying. It's not all about you, dear. Life does move forward, and there are new avenues to explore. Doppelganger. She slips in and out of existence, unhinged in a black leap year, in opposition to myself, alpha pure, unkind, with a fondness for forgotten memory and astral form. Cruel spectre appears in siege lightning storm. She carried out, and the carried, and has been ashen for order. Or was I, it, the precipice of forever, wayward seductress, Isis bringer, before the sheeple were led to the slaughter, before the Precambrian entered her vampire lair, the vast expanse of the cosmos erodes under her augury stare. Wailing turbine of darkness coughs up its own, liker of mad things, inversions of worlds, and what Hecate brings. A light without end went out. Candle assured the witch. Sulking heiress, savant depraved, thou shalt not be saved. Gasp for water, a channeled vision held under. Pulsating universe, debauchery beckons again and again. Transmits the sigh signal after the end. Sweats on the altar. You pierce me, my significant other, my doppelganger. Yes, so I'm channeling clearly in my work. and I like the wordplay of it all. And it definitely, it's inspiring. And black magic is might, in its totality, to contain some of this, is really fun. Locked gaze. The reciprocity of unsound reason. This is the witch's season of treason. Clutches through the mind's labyrinthine maze. We locked gaze. Strange oracle oratory noise. Elicits itself a sage. Patterns of sigh revealed. We locked gaze. In waveforms no longer divided, I crossed the bridge of sighs. She spoke to me through the eyes, no mention, no word, no replies, only interdimensional phase. We locked gaze. The cosmos lifts up in its final obliteration, kneels in oblation. I weave through your unconsciousness as you weave through mine. No affliction, no time, no age. A woven succubus coil, we locked gaze. Our Lady of the House of Whips, sky's ephemeral enchantress, ever living dusk to dusk, her blood burns to be fucked. Threads of fate has vanished without a trace, we locked gaze. Ruler of dreams, scavenger of schemes, triangulation of the evil eye, opium trance haze. We locked gaze. That's beautiful. I enjoy that. I was truly inspired in this book. And Occultist is excellent too, and I'm probably going to read from that. Maybe I'll read from that next week. And these interplays, and a lot of writers or whatever will go into some explanation of what they were writing about. There is no real definition for some of this. You have to take it as it goes, and you formulate your own visions of it, and it changes all the time. And that's the key to some of the the writing of black magic and the mantra of poetry. Witch's henge. Doomed, unsatiable lust, in a conspiracy of hearts we trust. Appreciated a little less, lest we forget, careful not to Samhain singe at the witch's henge. Narrow the range of sigh, darling, now I can see why. Subtle manipulation tampered with, shared mutual despisal of mankind's confides, created circumferences that polarize, out on an All Hallows binge at the witch's henge. Cast from the reality's confine, revolution is easy, to rule is slow, deep and hard inside you. Ardent, impersonalist, captivated and individualist, every day to live and die. The synchronicity is yours and mine. Erotic grave attained in the circular manner of time, action is will to insurgency, our occult will to cruelty. Our pagan idolaters impinge at the witch's henge. We are the summations of our manipulations, influences, and astral crimes. In the perils of hubris, tourists to hostages, I can see the stars in your eyes, all-knowing, all-deceiving, beguiled in Horus' arena. Revoke my invite, a dagger to avenge at the witch's henge. Between two realms, yours and mine, a succubus incants, then cries. Out of the dimensional angles she crawls, steps through the walls, she's nothing but alluring. My unconscious is unclear, off-kilter in the outer abyss, undead in ascension, bringer of infernal intervention, great with praise. Our Lady of Satanic grace, longing in vice, unreflective of price, a dash of hemlock, wolfsbane, and cringe at the witch's henge. That's beautiful. These were so random. So unexpected. I mean, I like it. I don't know if anybody else likes it, but I find them to be kind of fascinating to end the book in some of this power poetry, occult oriented. Speaking of the witch's henge, I'm really into my work. Started writing another book. I'm not going to give the title out yet. It's, as I said yesterday's show on the Pentacle-Hours, that it's kind of writing itself. I don't really want to write a book a year, but that's how it's going. I have been writing a book a year for about 3 or 4 years. Well, actually, 2 or 3 books a year, considering I've only been at this for about 2 or 3 years. My biggest audience that I reached was on Coast to Coast, which was a lot of fun. I had 1 million listeners. That was a lot of fun. It garnered me a lot of stuff. This year, I'm going to be on television. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. It's signed contracts and guaranteed, which is cool. But, nothing is done until it's done. And that's another thing people need to realize, especially in the business of Hollywood or radio or whatever. Things come and go. Things begin and end. And they can end, randomly. And so you just got to ride the wave while it's going. Because there are like 10,000 movie stars on the casting couch and maybe a few hundred that actually get work. So that just gives you the spectrum. Now, see, I'm a writer in Hollywood, Writers Guild, and I underwrite a lot of films, and I do a lot of writing, which is known as ghosting in the process. So I'll ghost, and you can have up to 10 writers on a project. And the writers, we don't care as writers whether our names are on it or not. I really don't care. Just as long as the work continues, as long as you're able to be in that force and to be applied into that and to make some money at it. It's very hard. The writer has a longer life than the actual star. And it's unfortunate because, we can continue to writing throughout our lifetime and write 90 scripts or whatever. I've written like 50 scripts, more than that, episodic and television and all kinds of stuff. And even in the mainstream that's out there, I've underwritten, I'm calling it underwriting. There's many forms of underwriting. It can be a financial underwriting or underwriting for ghosting. What I'm speaking of is underwriting for ghosting. Although the capacity to underwrite films is there, but probably, then just do it for myself, like Star-Crossed Vampires and other work that I'm into. But that's mine. The writer has a longer life. These stars, there are many hitters. And they'll have a great promising beginning, and then they'll end up being couched like 2 or 3 years later. One misstep can ruin your career. And I could just go down a list of different amazing movie stars that just have a hard time getting work. They can't even get an agent. It's really kind of odd, but as a writer, you do sit behind the scenes, and you are absolutely required, because without writing as a basis for Hollywood film, it's not going anywhere, and that's why there's a writers union. And never write for free. Don't go writing for free. Don't write scripts for people for free. You will just get used. You will just get discarded. These scams on the Craigslist that say, oh, you're going to get points, or, write our script. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, you're just going to get ripped off. And no, I didn't learn from experience. I just learned because I saw other people stupid enough to do it. So it's kind of like radiation. No exposure is good. They tell you, oh, just step into this thing at the airport. Never do that. Always take the X-ray machine, because you never want to be exposed with radiation. You never know what the effects are going to be. No amount of radiation is good, and it compiles. Even though you've heard me say that we are radioactive creatures, but you don't want to overdo it, and you do want to limit your exposure, as you are a human. You're a mammal. You're not radioactive yet, or we haven't figured out how to enhance ourselves with radiation, but I'm deviating. Back to screenwriting. If you are writing, make sure you are paid, and make sure you watch all the options, and make sure you are protected through copyright, because they will steal what you have, and they will remake it or frame it and do whatever, and they will run with it. I've had people that have paid me, taken the project, and still tried to steal some stuff from it or do some weird, stupid games. Everybody does it, and it's just ridiculous. And I don't go to court. I don't settle my problems that way. And they when their lives fall apart, or when their brake lines fail, or when they, have real problems happen, or they go nowhere in the business, I often get callbacks, and they say, hey, I screwed up, can we fix this? And I'll say, sure. This is the amount that will fix this. And then I will remove this from you. And what I'm saying is, through cursing and black magic, I've been able to garner myself a really powerful position, because people know not to mess with me. But I do see writers mess with all the time. My friend Brooke, who is Diablo Cody, great person. We used to go to Neo all the time, and we still rarely be in touch. She's on a whole nother echelon, especially after she won her Oscar years ago. She's really got me into screenwriting, and I was into screenwriting anyway. And where we were going at that time was a lot of dreaming, a lot of visions, a lot of things to happen. It was more an acquaintance, not really anything further. But this woman did whatever it took. But even she, through having her own films done, had one little misstep. But it's not. I mean, she's done movies. I think all of her films were great. But, these supposed critics or enemies or women haters in the business, or other women, man. Women will go after each other in the business. It's bizarre. Hollywood is actually run by women. And in a previous episode, I spoke of the 4 actual rulers who are women, the 4 witches of Hollywood, which is fine. But they do work each other out. I don't think Diablo has that issue. I just think she's having issues, internally with different things that people have criticized certain work, or if you don't hit a certain echelon with your film. Her last one didn't do too well, and so that's a huge problem when really you have a master talent who has a hard time getting using the word underwriting. Bashanal. Adoration to extermination's subtlety. Torture adorns this recluse prophecy, armchair megalomaniac, frantic with schemes, elevations carnal. Bashanal, hear my call. Greatest death to the greatest number, aspire to the few superior. Cohesion in Hela's bell division, deists of intuition, sycophants entangled in the pall. Bashanal, hear my call. Mistress of a higher order, responds and drags over cyranic boundary and border. She raises the wand to break the forge, to forge anew. Luminous in the axiom, daemoness of the stratagem. No vow, no concession, no liberty can take you away from me. Bringer of a promised light, giver of an assured darkness, vainglory before the fall. Bashanal, hear my call. Of many names, of many worlds, some known, most desolated, laid waste, left behind, a Maenad, Lorelei's claw. Bashanal, hear my call. She is the palace of excess that leads to ruin, unrestrained seduction, Adventist destruction, lightning rod of lust, hope strangles by a rope. Many masters failed, never foresaw. Bashanal, hear my call. Dying bloom. Cagey new world, thrall of the shape-shifted, the charm imbues, shut-in melancholic's room. At her peak she walks aimless. Dying bloom. At death's lengths desolation finds its strength. A storming throe, blow for blow, the air feels thin and dead. Vampirous about the town, get me through. One's failure is another's boon, a house of the whipcord, dying bloom. Youth decays in rose-colored hue, entrant of evil, so much to do. Love amongst the ruins, lust upon the sanctum rune. She gets it first, begetter of the curse, sorceress of doom, dying bloom. Hear Persephone's call, autumn shall bring downfall, Saturn's Bacchante, a self-inflicted summer wound, taste the opium fume, dying bloom. broken upon the breakers, riser of conflagration's fires, airy witch thinks in all dimensions, encanted creature, forbidden triune, dying bloom. In conspiracy with Satan, night hag haven, I bear Lilith's tune, charismatic, prismatic, entangled, bejeweled, this spectre in June, dying bloom. I am the harbinger, a cat's eye nebula, conjunction of savagery, leather tight and sultry, crimson undead, 3 nights' time, shudder under the mariner's rhyme, ashen pale blossom, imps surround, undeath will be soon, she rises entranced, arisen from her tomb, she dies in bloom. That's beautiful. Dying Bloom was really good out of this book, Black Magic is Might, from 2012. That's probably all I'm going to read today from that book. Although as I go through it, more and more inspired to read it. But that gives you a good overview. It gives you a good overview of the general tone of the book. And I'm glad for your emails to give me reflection on it by request, which I do from time to time. Look at different things of what I've done for work and how it all reflects in and out. But I've given you a general overview of where I'm at with it, because black magic does not need to be corpse paint, although it can be. And it can be poetry that elicits itself to music or elicits itself to issues. But my work elicits itself to me, and it's about me where it begins and ends. I don't seek to convert or to lead people into some jolly realm, whereas some of these, poverty pimps prey on poverty consciousness and lead people to buy their get-rich-quick schemes or spells that don't work and all this nonsense. I do, as I said, put curses on people, and I do get paid to read, and I do remove curses and so on, and all of this has a cost. But I do this with my own intention and outwardly realness of it. Whereas a lot of these people are just charlatans, and you'll give them a bunch of money, but you're not getting anything out of it. It's like a huge scam. I mean, it's always been going on. Through the Pentacle-Hours, you've heard me read about various different individuals, down through history, that it's becoming an old racket. It's kind of like the Jesus racket itself. They're preying on the poor to just get rich, and you're the one that they're getting rich off of. So it's quite a thing to pay attention to. If you are looking to cast a spell or something, you can contact me through my website at winterlake.com. We can talk about it. It is something that I do, and I am real about it. But, be careful who you're getting your readings from and stuff, because they will probably, 90% of them, be fake. I'm Winter Lake at winterlake.com, having a fun day today, doing a little reading of Black Magic is Might, which was a lot of fun. Some emails came in wanting me to continue to read, like the way I read poetry or whatever. Probably going to put that one to rest now. We'll move on to occultists next week or something, and I'll get into that. It's new, although I still have 10 other books or something to read from. We can do some of that. We can explore my life's writing so far over the past few years, which I think started in 999, which was a very pinnacle year. 999 was the transition from the age further into the Age of Fire, which I can explain later in different shows or so on, because it's a complex thing. A lot of people don't get it, but even though our time is a created space, it's relevant to our humanity as we progress into our technological satanic singularity. Evolution and the next leap is inevitable. Our goal as a humanity is to get off of this rock and go out into space and conquer it or figure it out. Our sole purpose is not to remain here on this planet and to devour ourselves. However, in this phase one existence, more than likely we will end up devouring ourselves unless we have a course of action that will bring about change. Hence the creator surpassing the created. Just as we have created these machines have the potential to surpass us. It's going to be an inevitability whether we like it or not. We are on a upward exponential climb into this superior thing of the satanic singularity, very similar to transhumanism or whatever you want to call it, where we modify ourselves with devices that we have created. And those that do not seek to modify themselves will be left behind and be considered inferior. It's not even, it will be a new, I guess, form of racism or something, but I don't know. I just think it's probably an inevitability. I was talking about hope on my Facebook, and I said that hope is overrated. And I do think that hope is overrated if you don't have any action-oriented change going on. To explain more about my premise about hope, because there are many in this society, and especially in this economic downturn, that are hopeless. If you're hopeless, you're already worn and ground down. You're already a part of this culture of people that are already out of a job or one step out of a job or working a job they hate just to survive. You know, they're servers at some kind of restaurant or something, and it's just they don't want to do it, and they're starting to age out, and it's just not cool to do it past 30 or whatever. This is happening. It's good to have hope, but you have to have hope with action. Just to wish upon a star is not going to get you anywhere. And it also goes back to some of this premise about these poverty pimps that are working in people's poverty consciousness and selling people, get-rich-quick schemes through conditioning. Set a series of plans in order, especially as we get into 2014. Set a series of guidelines that need to be met. Goal is such a tedious word. I like to use guidelines for myself. I say, okay, by this time this shall be done, and by this time this shall be done. Plus, then you have all the other randomness of things. Despite what many in the anarchism or the chaos theory aspects of the writing and people that are into that theory believe, the random chance aspects of synchronicity are there. But humanity does like its order, at least as an individual, from this perspective. To have the order in order to establish guidelines, things get done. It's true that in the theories of anarchism or in chaos sphere activities or chaos sphere religiosity, they say that through the roundabout way, things will inevitably end up in a certain thing. That's true. They probably will, in all causality, end up in a random chance, but it takes too long. You know, in the universal way of things will inevitably, eventually come about. Yes, you give yourself up to the universe or whatever. Sometimes it's true. That's not karma. Karma doesn't exist. Karma is a thing where I am slighted and I'm waiting for the universe to slight you back in my honor. That is not going to happen. People in the random chance of things may have some experience that because of their errors that something will happen to them. Karma doesn't exist. If karma existed, the earth would have been wiped out a long time ago. And I'm deviating, but it has to be explained. Because I hear it all the time, and karma needs to be eradicated from the language because it doesn't exist. The only way to exact something is to take action yourself and to do it. Because in the universe, things of random and causality do occur, yes. So you're just waiting for something bad to happen to that person to pay you back in some redemptive way. But that's the way the universe works anyway. Bad things happen to everyone. So it's not your issue with them that may have resolved it. You have to go out of your way to resolve your issue, to take it on yourself to do it. through the vengeance of redemption and through black magic or whatever form you're using. I only see black magic because it brings intention for result. A lot of this other thing about white magic is a lie. There is no white magic. It's all the same because you are still bringing your intention. It's very similar to prayers at a church or to a Jesus or to some deity. You are praying. You are evoking an intention. I want this bill paid, or I'm seeking this, or I'm seeking that. For me, I just call a spade and see it as black magic. So when you have these things with action and hope, it is good to have hope. I'm not slamming hope, but hope on its own is useless, and you must base it with action, just like with money rituals or rites or aspects to overcome poverty consciousness. You have to push yourself forward through action and recourse, and with these two forces combined, elementally, things will be achieved. So by setting guidelines one after another, that's why I am able to progress the way I do. That's why I am on an ever-escalating slope. I am climbing. It is always good to ever be rising. It's like the beginning of the week. You rise with the moon. As the moon rises, you always want to be rising. You always want to be elevating. You don't want to be in the down of the doldrums. Don't be worrying about the past. Cut from the past. Don't be worrying about somebody and their failures, or if they're dating a troll or a little creek rat. Just run from those people. They're toxic. You have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on what you want in the world and where you're going in the world. If people want to be isolated, they want to hope and wish upon a star, let them. They will be a part of the sheeple herd that will run themselves and grind themselves down into ruin. So it's just something that, a little bit of a tirade on my part, but, you know, someone sent me a message and like, why are you slamming hope? And I'm like, because hope on its own is useless. I can sit here and hope all I want. I want $1 million, okay? Whatever. It's so frivolous. And it's like, without action-based recourse, to get yourself $1 million, it's not going to happen. Now, true, through black magic, you bring intention. But see, I'm a believer, and I'm even deviating into my own little workings. But it is true that I have made things manifest without any effort whatsoever. That happens all the time for me, because I have a true belief. But I think that is a true belief in causality in affecting events. So I do and can get things without any action whatsoever. However, in the most of the worldly reality of the random chance and the interludes of synchronicity, one has to take action. And still, having an impending belief is taking action, because you really must believe in something. And that in itself is an action. Because through the world, you can affect change, and you can manipulate your reality and formulate it to your own will. And you can make things occur that wouldn't normally, or you can be in a certain place where you want to be with somebody, and through that interlude or interaction, you are, garnering a new road. You're causing and affecting things. So it's interesting how these little things work in our reality. And I'm just trying to, save people a lot of headache, sitting around worrying about something, because worry doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't make the problem go away. And it also, in my opinion, by sharing this, it keeps people from wishing upon a star. Because by wishing upon a star, nothing is going to happen. So combine your efforts through black magic might, or therein, or some kind of activity, or whatever you believe in, and through that action and recourse, certain things will happen for you. And I am Winter Lake, and we are at winterlake.com, and it's been nice to be with you today. And I will be back with you tomorrow, and cut out with a little music, and all is well.